What's up, everybody? Legacy back with another episode of Wild on the Rift. This is episode 7, and today my special guest is Joao from INTZ. Say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everyone? Thanks, Legacy, to have me on here again. It's always nice to talk with you, and even more when we want to talk about mobile sports.
Yes, absolutely. So, for the people that may not know who you are, go ahead and give an introduction about who you are and what you do for INTZ.
Of course, of course. Nice to meet you all that are watching me. But my name is Joao. Actually, I'm the head of innovation and mobile sports at INTZ. That it's the biggest esports organization here in Brazil. And inside of INTZ, I take care of all the mobile branches here. We have more than 6 games in mobile, and a total of 13 in the total with PC more mobile, and I take care of the part of the management of the club as a business here. So I have a little bit of experience before esports, even if I am a fan as always, but I have some experience in running some technology and startup companies. So now I'm working on the all the mobile projects inside of INTZ, and especially in the internationalization of the brand. So we have some great projects running right now, and it would be awesome to talk with you guys about that.
Absolutely. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, if you guys don't know, INTZ is a huge organization in Brazil. And tell us about like your excitement for Wild Rift and expectations for the game.
Man, we were actually looking and talking about White Rift a long time ago, since the first time we've heard about that, and we are very excited about that. Exactly because we started INTZ 6 years ago in League of Legends. It was our first branch here, and it's very important for us. But as we all know, mobile titles, mobile games in Brazil has a very strength potential. And one other detail that I think it's really important is that when we started looking and studying about mobile esports and etc., we look at a research from Newzoo that is our partner for the total esports hours watched from 2018 for 2019. And then we look at that of the top four mobile games, when we talk about total esports hours watched in YouTube and Twitch, we had the top one and the top four games as a mobile game. So it was Arena Valor and then the Mobile Legends, and then we had PUBG Mobile and Garena Free Fire at the top two and three. But we saw that it has a very great potential, and it made us very excited about that, because right now we have a kind of game that it's really strong as a mobile MOBA, and then right now we are merging it with a very strong IP that is the world of League of Legends. So we are very excited to do this and to be a very great team in the competitive side. But right now we are very we would like to be a very great in the content producing
Mhm.
side of it, so that it really makes sense for us to be on it and to make new projects inside of the wide rift world.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that you guys started 6 years ago in League of
Yeah,
Legends. So,
yeah,
with your PC team making it to Worlds, which is amazing.
yeah.
Your jerseys were sexy, by the way. Are there high expectations for the mobile branch? Now, you said you're starting in content, but obviously, you guys want to be on the competitive side. What are the expectations that you have for the team?
Man, it's awesome to talk about that, because I don't know if even you or whoever is watching this, in Brazil, we are the most we have the biggest amount of championships when we talk about the Brazilian League of Legends championship. So the expectations are really high for us, because we want to do the same history. We went from underdogs to the biggest champions here in Brazil, and we would like to do this in wide reach as well. I think we are going in a very good way here, exactly because in the last 2 years we had the prize here that we call the Prêmio Esports Brazil. That it's something like a prize for the best athletes in best organizations. And we had for the last 2 years the best mobile esports athlete. So we have some great players with us here, and we are doing a very great job when we talk about mobile sports here in Brazil. But yes, exactly like you said, we went to the world. It wasn't the first time, and we need to improve a lot as a region here. But I think the history is going to be different when we talk about White Rift. We're going to make this happen again, but we're going to be a very great region. And when we go to the future words for White Rift,
Hmm.
so it's part of our plan.
Yeah, see, it's kind of like in your guys' DNA. I mean, you guys started on League, and
Yeah.
now it's coming to mobile. So you kind of mentioned it, and I've seen some other organizations already pick up some content creators. But talk about what you
Yeah.
guys are already doing, specifically like about the content announcements that you guys made.
Yeah, man. We started with with a project here that it's really huge, and we made a lot of buzz in all over the world, exactly because we are the biggest esports organization here, and we hired six, at least right until now, six content producers for Wide Rift, and they are people and streamers, influencers that came from AOV for other mobile games and etc. And they started to make content for it. And the best part of it is that when we started talking about hiring them, we came to know that okay, Wide Rift is it's not it's not going to be launched this year here in Brazil. So what would be a solution to have to provide content for the people and provide some great some great ecosystem for them? So we take four of them, and they are already right now in Turkey to in a gaming house there, focus it on only create content for Wide Rift. So they're gonna be creating some daily videos, daily streams for Wide Rift. We are starting talking exactly with Riot Games from Brazil and from outside of Brazil to be part of some projects, and I'm already talking and sharing with, for example, Matt, the mobile Matt, about some projects. And so we are doing some great projects with them. But that's it. Our first action inside of the scene of White Rift was to take six content producers and take four of them until now in a gaming house in Turkey, so they can make this happen and they can understand the game even before is it launched in Brazil.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point. The game is won't be open for us on the western side here for
Yeah.
until spring. So that initiative to take that literal initiative is huge. Do you think other orgs will follow? And why do you think that's so important, even though the game's not out yet in your region?
Can you repeat, please?
Why was it so important to dive in and have the content team already?
Yeah. One strategic point that we kind of figured out when we go to a new game and start a new team is that we need to build a very great and strong competitive pillar of the game, but we need to start doing a very great job with the community. So
Hmm.
this strategy to have four people inside of a gaming house in the Europe just to make content, it's all about community. I think there's a huge chance that when we go and get our first competitive lineup, they will be cheering for us as well. So this is very strategic for us to start in a content producing strategy, because it's a very great way to be close to our community.
Absolutely. I love the concept of developing the community. And a great game can only be as good as the community is, from the ground
Yeah,
up. We can't just
agree.
expect Riot to just, hey, here's the first year $1 million tournament and then franchising. We as a community, especially the mobile community, have to step up ourselves and provide content. Show Riot that, hey, this is a game that we care about. We're developing around community events and everything like that. So I think that's very important, and I love that you guys took the initiative on that. So with the game not coming out yet, you guys and us in NA, we kind of get to see how the game's going to evolve. But for you guys, what do you think needs to happen for Wild Rift to succeed in your region? Especially since you said 1 in 4 were MOBAs in your region already. So do you think it'll be hard?
Man, the first point here is that we really, really, we are really trusting on the Riot side of this point, because Riot really knows how to make a community and to make a strong community and then good game for orgs and etc. But there is another good point to talk here is that in Brazil, almost everyone here is a mobile first gamer, and
Mm,
Brazil is a mobile first game market. And for example, there is a consumer insight research for Newzoo from Newzoo, for example, that they say that more than 70% of the of all the online population in Brazil plays on mobile.
wow.
So we have such a great potential of casual players that we can work with them to turn them as a fan for us. So we cannot talk about mobile games here in Brazil, not only about this point of view, but we need to talk about accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that White Rift is not so difficult to run in some devices, and I prefer and I really hope that they can get even more better versions of the app and the game, because here in Brazil we have this barrier when we talk about the entry
Mm-hmm.
on console, on PC, on mobile devices, and not everyone has the power of buying a very great and very high tier mobile. So I think it won't be hard for Riot Games to develop this here, because they have such a great, massive amount of online population that is already playing mobile, and they just need to work on with them. And then another point, it's all about accessibility, and it was one of the key success factors for Fire, for example. So I'm really excited for Wide Rift exactly because of that. People are already watching mobile. So just come to Brazil, work with the community, make the game really great and good for any kind of mobile device. And I think it's already a success.
Absolutely. The accessibility, huge factor, huge point there. Great point. Um, and I think you kind of already touched on this earlier, but what what do you think the future for INTZ is going to be in Wild Rift? You guys going to focus mainly after the content on developing the best competitive team? I mean, you guys, you said it yourself. You guys are champions in CBLOL. So
Yeah.
is it going to be tough to replicate that on mobile, or is it you shooting past that like champions of the potential worlds?
Yeah. What can I say about that? We don't enter a new game to not be the champions
Hmm.
of it. So yes, we're gonna try what we all can wait and expect from INTZ in the future is that yes, we're gonna be fighting for the championship. We want to replicate the history,
Hmm.
but right now in the mobile scene. And another interest point that not everyone knows, but in last year, 2019, we were we were there in the major of the Arena of Valor. We already had one of the top one, top two teams here. So we kind of know how to do and how know how to
Mm.
be one of the champions. We just want to replicate that. And right now, our strategy is gonna be this one. Focusing on content producing and influencers and streamers and etc. And we're gonna be talking with Riot Games in the next months to understand how it's gonna be their plans for the
Hmm.
competitive scene, and work directly with them to be the disarm of the professionalism inside of it. So that's what I think. We're gonna be again the champions. We're gonna work for that. But right now, it's more about content producing.
Absolutely, and it's great that you guys already have that relationship established with Riot, so you guys can develop that and maybe even create a new event because you've seen all the different events they've had for each region release. So maybe Riot Brazil will have some crazy cool event that you guys can partner up with, um, and
Yeah.
and I'm excited. Like usually I ask like what can Riot do to help, but you kind of already know that and you've kind of already talked about that. I'm excited for your opinion on who will dominate Wild Rift because on PC we know it's SEA in the Asia regions, but I think in the mobile world I think it's actually quite different. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched AOV's AIC in a while, but do you think it'll be the North America side, the Europe, SA, or Asia? Who do you think will dominate?
Man, it's kind of tough question, but of course I agree with you when we talk that the history is going to be a little bit different. And right now I'm going to tell you why. I would love to see more about the European region, and I think they're gonna be very strong. When I was actually looking and watching some games and people from there, but uh, it's not only because I am from here, but I think INTZ especially will be the biggest surprise of all over the world. So we are coming very strong, and that's what I would like to see.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts that you want to give to your community or to fans out there or potentially new people wanting to join INTZ?
We have a lot of options when we talk about who is watching here. But if you are familiar with INTZ and you would like to be a streamer or a player, not only here but inside of any other organization, start right now. But start by generating value to the community. Um, it's not enough to only be good on what you're doing, and not it's not enough to only be good by playing. You could be the best of the best, but it's really important to be close of the community. So start generating content, start talking with the fans, start talking with good people, exactly like I am right now. But do something different, man, because mobile is the future, and the future is totally digital. Your friends are watching you right now here. Your friends are gonna be in the social media, so do something more. Just only playing is it's really important. And another really good point here, man. Another really great point here it's for organizations. If you would like to talk more about mobile esports, and in Brazil, I'm completely and 100% sure that we are the biggest esports organization here. Come to talk with me. I would love to help you more about that, and I would love to help you more with wide rift projects. So how can we work together and make more content and generating more value to this new community? And I think it's going to be maybe one of the top tier one games here in Brazil for us. And I would love to talk more about that. And that's it. Take a look in the Right Rift, play it, test it, and if you write in the side of the project, I think it's already a success. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you having you as a guest on the show, and thanks for everyone watching. And for episode 7 of Wild on the Rift, I'm Legacy saying thanks for watching and peace.